That was the final edit from episode 2, where I am teaching myself how to do remixes and make beats in Serato Studio. So that's what I have. That is Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan. That's my edit. Welcome. This is episode 3 of the Make Things podcast, which is a weekly series about reconnecting with my creativity without the pressure of profit. My name is Chris Herring. I'm a fashion designer, an educator, a DJ, now a producer, and a new homeowner. And I'm documenting my journey here through my multi-hyphenate creative interest just to see what we come up with. If you want to listen to my recent track that I made, I will link it below. If you want to follow my work, I have my website, my Instagram. Just make sure, show me some love by liking and also commenting. If you are creative and working on something new, I would love to follow your journey as well. This is episode 3 featuring my new journal. This is Amy Sherald. I was in Baltimore last month to see her beautiful exhibit that was at the Baltimore Museum of the Art. This is called For Love and for Country, and it's a beautiful portrait of queer Black men celebrating themselves and being in love. And I love this. So I was like, I have to have this as my journal. I'm not like a person to necessarily, I don't really free write anymore. I have all these ideas in my head. So I use it as in journaling, as an idea, just getting things out. And now also I'm a little OCD. So I have my list and then I check things off when I've completed them. So I guess this will be our make things companion. So thank you to Amy Sherrill for sharing her gifts and her talents with us and for making these are awesome. So I'm trying to improve each episode by having kind of some structure. So we're gonna see what happens. Okay. So this episode, I'm going to learn a new 3D design software. I'm a fashion designer by trade, and about 7 or 8 years ago, I got into 3D design. I was working at a major apparel company, and I was a menswear designer there. And we had the opportunity to pilot a 3D software. And once I saw that they were looking for people to pilot it, I told my boss, you're putting me in a pilot. I want to learn this software. And from then on, I've been working in 3D, worked for this particular software company. So I'm mainly experienced in that software, but I've had the opportunity to learn other softwares here and there. And so I'm diving into something new. This software is called Clo 3D. This is the one that I will be teaching myself because I want to get back into creating capsule collections. So right now, the cool thing about Clo, I had asked a coworker of mine, I said, hey, if you had to pick an all-inclusive software for fashion design, what would you choose? And she said, if I could only pick one software, it would be Clo 3D. I was like, heard. And especially as a designer and a freelancer, they have a freelance option. So for independent freelance designers, if you work in the fashion industry, you already know, like, you can have a job today and the job will be gone tomorrow. So it really is an up and down culture of work. And being a freelancer is more often than not how you sustain yourself in the industry, unless you're just one of the lucky ones that gets to stay at a job forever. But that's not everybody's circumstance. Freelancing is usually the way to go. And if you're going to be in this industry, you have to learn new software and technology. And Clo has a freelance option. It's $50 a month, which is not bad. And they have tutorials. So right now I'm going through an introductory class. It's like a 2-hour class on YouTube. I've linked it below so that if you're interested in, or you're a designer and you want to learn the new software, then they have a 14-day trial and they have a 2-hour introductory class. I think they posted maybe 2 or 3 months ago. So I'm taking that just to familiarize myself with it so that I can start to create. As I learn the software, I also have a million design ideas in my head. When I tell you, I always have an idea. And so that's why I have this, because I can write down projects, ideas, things that just pop up and just work through them. I'm learning that everything doesn't have to be a completed project, or I can just work on a mini project at a time. Mini project. Like, it's okay. One idea that has been in my head that I've had it for years, it's called the White Shirt Project. I got into design. Really, I was inspired to become a designer because of Janelle Monáe. When she first came out, she had this black and white aesthetic. She said it was an homage to her parents, who were both working class, and they had uniforms and they went to work. And so her white and black outfits were her uniform as an artist. That stuck with me heavy because she also leaned into, whether she was intending to do this or not, just this fluidity in her gender presentation. So she wore like a suit. And I was like, I love this because it spoke to me. I was someone who I'm not very feminine at all. I am feminine, but I have a fluidity in my style and even in my aura and my personality. I bend the gender norms. So that has always stuck with me and been like my genesis as a designer and as a creative. And so I started designing because I wanted to make something with Janelle Monáe. Never happened, but it's okay. So I've had this idea for a very long time. It's called the White Shirt Project, and it's really taking a staple, which a white shirt is workwear, and playing with the silhouette, playing with the styling, playing with like design lines, like being able to take this one thing and turn it into many things or many iterations of this one core style. And while I'm learning Clo 3D, we're going to go ahead and see what we can create. So that'll also be other future things. But how I even got into 3D design, like I said, I was working for a company that was introducing 3D into the company itself and for all the designers. And I was one of the people who piloted the program in 2017, 2018. And then after a few freelance design stints, I got a job working on the 3D implementation, client success side or team at this particular 3D software company. So I've been working there for many years. And so I'm pretty much fluent in that software. But initially, when I got the opportunity to pilot this particular software, I said, oh, I can use this for my own work. I knew the cost of creating clothing. It is not cheap, guys. It is not cheap at all. You can spend thousands just to create one style. I'm talking pattern making. So if you are a great pattern maker, awesome. I am not an expert pattern maker. I can make a basic pattern, but when you're talking about trying to make something that will fit different body types, there are people who are pattern makers and technical designers who have that specific skill set and knowledge that extends far beyond just designing and sketching a garment. Like, it has to fit, and you have to have, the right fit that's based off of the right body type, that's based off of the type of fabric and the stretch. So it's nuances and intricacies that go into designing, and that costs money, And so you're thinking patterns, you have to grade them, you have to have your technical packages, you have to have, I had to get my patterns printed, I had to buy fabric, I had to do samples, and sometimes you do your first sample, and if you're not sewing it yourself, maybe you're hiring somebody to help you make the sample. You have to have a fit model, you have to do sample correction, so things start to add up, and next thing you know, before you've even gotten to your final sample, you're spending thousands of dollars. So I just thought in my head, I know it's gonna cost thousands just to create one style, and I'm over here with 5, 7, 10 different styles for my first collection. Let me make this in 3D. So in real time, you have an avatar which is same or similar size to maybe your fit model. You have the pattern, and you're able to adjust the measurements based off of a 3D avatar and see it 360 view in real time and be able to edit based off of what you're looking for. So to me, it was like, this is the way to go. And so the first thing that I did was I found somebody that was an expert that had way more experience than me in being able to create patterns She did a 3D sample. I made a tech pack. So what I did was I made a tech pack. I would email it to her. She would take all of the measurements, the tech pack, and then she would create my design in 3D on the avatars that I chose. I gave her a male and a female avatar. She would put them on these bodies and then send them back to me, and we would do design edits virtually. That's how we started, and this was seven years ago. Things have advanced so much now. You don't have to do all of that back and forth, but that's how I started, and that's how I made my first collection. I cut down on sample costs that would have cost me in New York by doing this work virtually, thousands of dollars. I would say it cut my costs down probably 70%. I would say. I'm guessing it was such a long time ago, but I knew I didn't even have the money for all of that. So it cut the cost down for me to actually create my samples, my final samples for my collection, about 75%, which is amazing. So that's how I started in 3D. I think one of the things for me though, at the end of the day, is that I just kind of got exhausted and burnt out. But that's neither here nor there. We're here now. And so I've always seen the benefits of how new technology can help, especially us as independent designers, independent creatives, those of us who don't have trust funds and we're figuring this thing out ourselves. The technology is there for us to be able to be creative. And so this is why I said, you know what, let me learn a new software, and we're going to do it. So I had to come back because I forgot to do an outro. If you have been watching this long, I appreciate you for rocking with me. I will be doing these episodes every Thursday. That is my goal here. So if you can, subscribe, like, comment what you're working on as a creative. I would love to follow you. If you want to learn more about myself and my work, I have all of my information in the description, my LinkedIn, my website, Instagram. If you're looking for a freelance designer, you're looking for someone to come and help your design teams implement 3D, I am your girl. But I want to thank you guys for staying around and watching episode 3, and episode 4 will be next week. Do I have a topic yet? No, but it's okay. We'll figure it out before next Thursday. All right, peace.